So here's a question to y'all. Are electric vehicles worth it or not? The answer, in my opinion, is no. The electric vehicles, they're getting mass produced by this bandwagon full of manufacturers like GM. Well, GM already failed electric vehicles like twice. So what would you think why GM is making electric vehicles? And well, they keep failing that over time. And then you have all these manufacturers after that going on the bandwagon to make to making electric vehicles. Well, let me tell you something. Electric vehicles are just not the way to go. Here's why. Number one, you have to deal with infrastructure. Well, you first have to build all these roads back up, and because they're full with cracks, potholes, and all that stuff. I mean, that's all natural, but you know, road care, basically. And then, well, imagine superchargers. You're gonna plug in your Tesla or electric vehicle. There's a GPS to say, well, what's my nearest charging station? Well, what if these places don't have the charging stations? Well, and what most of them break, most of them don't work, they don't have electricity. Well, where are you gonna go find the next nearest charging station? Most of these places don't have charging stations for you to fill up your car. Well, here's a scenario. Imagine you're in a electric vehicle out in the middle of nowhere, and your next town is about an hour or two, and all of a sudden your battery's so low that it actually strikes zero. Well, what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna call a tow truck to bring it over and charge your car? Absolutely not, because these tow trucks do not have a charging station for you. Usually, they call up a tow truck and say, "My gas-powered car ran out of gas." Well, they're gonna come over here and fill up your car with a cherry can of gas. Same thing, but with the electric vehicles, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna take you to the next charging station. That's not gonna work. Well, that's gonna cost you a lot of money to actually get it towed. That costs extra money. But infrastructure is the whole thing behind all this stuff. Well, you're gonna find the money to build electric charging stations. Not a lot of places have them. Also, power grid too. Not all places, these small cities have very weak power grids that control the entire city itself. So imagine you put tons and tons of electric vehicles on the same road. Well, you know how it's gonna weaken the power grid because you're using a lot of kilowatts and create a lot of charging for these cars. It's gonna take up a lot of electricity to charge all that vehicles, and it's gonna override the power grid, and well, it's gonna weaken it. So basically, it comes to the whole infrastructure, whole thing. That's why I say electric vehicles are not the way to go, and they cost a ton of money to maintenance and get them.